a sin and a shame and a tragedy that our sisters and brothers in Flint, Michigan would have to endure.
Yeah! Carolina, down there, her family's from Michigan. That's where I live.
I know a senator who has full agreement, who will stand up in audience and say that together we must transform this nation so that equality and justice for all is the order of the day, so that women can be paid equal. I know a man, a senator from Vermont, who has said enough is enough is enough. So without further ado, I bring the federal senator from the great state of Vermont who is working to have a political revolution in this country. I bring to you the amazing, incredible, magnificent, magnanimous freedom fighter for justice, Senator Bernie Sanders.
There must be some kind of mistake. I was told that Alabama was a conservative state. Let me begin by thanking the Rock Church Choir, Sandra Wakely, Kimberly Meadows Clark, Jonathan Austin, Stephen Hoyt. And now I have a problem. I have to speak to you after you heard from Dr. Cornel West and State Senator Nina Turner. I can't follow them. I'm thinking of leaving the stage. What can I say? Now those guys, what makes this campaign so great is that we have people like Nina Turner and Cornel West and so many other people. Senator Turner calls it heart and soul. And that's what it is. In other words, these are not professional politicians. These are people who have fought their entire life against injustice, against racism, against classism, and they are prepared to make the political revolution with you. Thank you. Before I get into the thrust of my remarks, I wanted to talk a little bit about our campaign. And as many of you know, we began this campaign about 9 months ago, and when we began, we were 50 points behind. We were 50 points behind the inevitable Democratic nominee. Well, guess what? That inevitable candidate ain't so inevitable today. Today, we are closing the gap in Iowa, the first caucus state. I think we're a little bit ahead in New Hampshire. We're doing great in Nevada, South Carolina. I think we're going to do pretty well in Alabama. up and down, and this early in a campaign, they don't mean all that much. But what is interesting is the last poll just came out yesterday, had us 15 points ahead of our very good friend, Donald Trump. What this campaign is about, and what the political revolution is about, is what we are seeing here tonight. Is we're seeing folks coming out, beginning to stand up and to demand that we have a government that represents all of the people, not just a handful of billionaires. All over the country, this is amazing, not just here in Birmingham. All over the country, we're seeing huge turnouts of people who are sick and tired of establishment politics, establishment economics. They want real change in the way we do business. When I began the campaign, what people said is, they said, well, Bernie, you're an interesting guy. You comb your hair really nicely. You got that GQ look. But you got all of that stuff. But what you don't have is money. And in today's day and age, as all of you know, when you run for president, you need literally hundreds of millions of dollars. That's what you need. It's a sad state of affairs, but that's true. And they said the only way you can raise that kind of money, you got to do what all the other politicians do, and that is you got to go begging to millionaires and billionaires, start a super PAC, and collect money that way. I agree. And what we said is, we don't represent the billionaire class. We don't represent corporate America. We don't want their money. We're not going to take their money. We're going to do it in a different way. What we did, and in this day and age, this is a pretty radical idea, we said, okay, we think there are a whole lot of people in this country who are sick and tired of the status quo, and we're going to ask them for money. And you know what happened, and this is amazing, and never in a million years would I have told you that we could accomplish this. Over the last 9 months, we have received 2.5 million individual contributions. That is more individual contributions than any campaign in the history of the United States of America. Establishment politicians who raise money, they go to these big fancy mansions and they come away, with $5 million, with $10 million. We don't do that. I am extremely proud to tell you that our average campaign donation is $27. In other words, this is a campaign of the people, by the people, and for the people. Other candidates can get money from Wall Street, get money from the drug companies, that's fine. I'll take my contributions from the working people of this country. Today, as all of you know, we celebrate the life and work of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., one of the great Americans. One of the great Americans in the history of our country, and a man, as all of you know, who did much of his work right here in Alabama. And I know that I date myself when I tell you that in August 1963, as a college student at the University of Chicago, I was there at the March on Washington. And I can remember the day in my mind's eye right this moment. It was an extraordinary day, and a day that has left a lasting impression on my life. And here is the point that I want to make about Dr. King. It is absolutely imperative that we do not do as many out there would like us to do. And what many in the media would like us to do, they say, well, Dr. King was a great man, and he lived a great life, and he accomplished a whole lot, but that's history. That's history. But what I want to tell you is that it is absolutely imperative that we see his life not as a museum piece, something simply to be looked at, to be studied, to be appreciated, to be kept on a shelf. To truly honor the life of Dr. King, we must fight to carry out his radical and bold vision for America.